Because you also have another platform, the Junior Network.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So the Junior Network was birthed.
I love how you smile, like, yes.
I love speaking about them. So Peppy Your Talk started first. And like I said, it was like, I just knew that young people needed support. Yeah. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I knew I had learned a bit. The Junior Network was more specific in its purpose, in that when I was at Burberry, I just wanted fashion friends. And I didn't come from a background where I instantly had access, or I was going to amazing events straight away and stuff like that. And I just thought, that's not fair. Like, there's a whole tribe of young people who are hungry and ready and friendly. Yeah. That's the most important thing to me. And want a network so that they can kind of rise up together with this cohort of amazing people and just kill it. Yeah. So I thought, why don't I just create this like membership where you pay it minimal? The first year was like £12.50 a month. Like less than, I always say, it's less than a cocktail a month. Like, it's so cheap. So the idea was to create, every year we'd have a cohort of up to 50 people so that you can actually get to know one another. And we broke the year, it was a members club basically, broke the year up into 4 quarters, which were themed. So under each theme, we would have a panel discussion on that theme, a brand-led workshop, workbooks, and networking experiences with each other. Okay. So the themes were, if I can remember, self-advocacy, success, innovation, and tenacity.
I think I was at Tenacity, right?
Maybe. Oh yeah, you came.
I was at one of your events where I helped you with social media. I was your social media girl.
So on point that day.
I helped for the Instagram Instagram stories that time, right?
Yeah, you did.
I did Instagram stories for your platform, and it was in collaboration with the Hoxton Hotel.
The Hoxton Hotel.
It was really cool, and you had interesting panel guests as well.
Yeah, that day we had Donna Wallace, who was she still is the fashion and accessories editor for Vogue. Yeah. Kobe Yates, who was the sportswear editor for ASOS. And we had Octavia Bradford, who was the women's wear buyer for Brown's Fashion. Oh, so the idea was to have juniors connect with seniors so that we are bridging that gap, closing all the barriers to access, and allowing them to hear what it takes to get to the top.
Okay, that's what I love about these two platforms, because for instance, I started with Young the Agency, which is a creative agency where we help brands with consultancy and we create and think about creative campaigns. Yeah. Through Young the Agency, I created Stories of Young, the podcast. Yeah. Because as an agency, I was like, okay, cool. I want to start a creative agency, but I don't have clients yet. How can I show people my work? Right. Because as a creative agency, that's the first thing they're going to ask, okay, what have you worked on? So my idea was like, okay, let me then start a podcast, Stories of Young. Well, the reason of starting a podcast is deeper, but it was also connected to Young the Agency, as in Young does the production for Stories of Young, so that people could see the level that we can create on. So what I also love about Pepper Your Talk and Junior Network is that through Pepper Your Talk, you started a new platform. Yeah. And in the beginning, a lot of people were like, Young the Agency, Stories of Young, I'm confused. What is, do you have the same? Like,
always.
Do people ask, what's the difference between Pepper Your Talk? Yeah, how do you?
Always, and I even get confused sometimes. Like when I'm creating new products, I'm like the course that I'm doing now, I'm like, should it be for Pepper Your Talk or the Junior Network?
Because I believe like the core is always the same.
Yeah, it is the same.
Actually, it's just a different.
Yeah, it's about supporting people's career endeavors. Like that is the core, that's the business. So yeah, I even get confused. I don't blame people, but I always say Pepper Your Talk is for students and graduates, and the Junior Network is more for not established, but people who have jobs but just under 5 years experience. Okay. Well, that's really clear. Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. And for the fashion students who are listening now, or even watching this video, what advice would you give them?
So I could give them tons of advice. The 2 things that I like to focus on is confidence and contacts. So I always say, build your confidence. Like, give yourself tests every day to push yourself. Even if it means like I'm going to go to an event and I'm going to sit at the front today instead of the back. Yeah. That's one mini test and you're going to feel proud of yourself. That's going to build your confidence and it's going to help you with networking and building your contacts. Or it could be I'm going to go to an event and I'm going to speak to 2 people and I'm just going to ask them 2 questions. you have to know people. Like, even though people say your network is your net worth, blah, 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 it's true, but it's deeper than that. I think it's really about having a core group who understand you and are going to continuously push you to do more, do better, go harder, and open doors for you, give you opportunities that are not openly advertised.